2 o'clock and whiskey. Clock on the wall says 2 and change. Whiskey in the glass says nothing's changed. Ice don't melt the way it used to do. Or maybe I just sit here longer than I knew. Leather chair still holds the shape of me. Man and his habits, that's all that's free. I got a window and I got this light, and 40 years of stories for a Tuesday night. 2 o'clock and whiskey, that's the only company I keep. 2 o'clock and whiskey. Too tired to run, too wide to sleep. She ain't coming back, the city don't care. Just me and this amber and the weight of the air. 2 o'clock and whiskey. I used to drink to celebrate the win. Now I drink to let the quiet back in. There's a difference, yeah, but it's paper thin. Ask any man who's ever loved and sinned. The bottle's honest in a way that's rare. Don't ask you nothing, don't go nowhere. Just sits there, amber, patient, warm and still, like a good woman used to and never will. 2 o'clock and whiskey, got a texture like regret. 2 o'clock and whiskey, smooth enough to help you not forget. I've been counting all the rooms I've slept alone, ran out of fingers round about the 3rd time home. 2 o'clock and whiskey. You know what 2 a.m. really is? It's the hour when the lies you tell yourself during the day finally clock out. No more, I'm fine. No more, it don't bother me. Just a man, a glass, and everything he traded for the life he thought he wanted. Pour another one. Some lives just grow the way they grow, you see. Like roots that find the crack and spread right through. Can't stop what's in you trying to come true. I had a woman once who understood, loved me past the point that most folks would. She left on a Thursday, left the key, left a note that said, I hope you find you. 2 o'clock and whiskey, and a note I never threw away. 2 o'clock and whiskey, she was right about me anyway. I found me, took about a day seeing some change, sitting at this window, listening to the rain. 2 o'clock and whiskey taught me everything. 2 o'clock and whiskey still teaching me. 2 o'clock and whiskey. Yeah. Yeah.
She said you're gonna be cold weather. Said it smiled and didn't mean it mean. Said some men run warm and some run winter. Said baby, you're the in-between. I laughed it off the way I laughed off warnings, the way a man laughs when he knows it's true. Poured another glass and changed the subject, the way I always did with you. She was right about the weather, right about the cold front moving in. She was right about the weather, right about the frost beneath the skin. Didn't need a forecast, didn't need a sign. She read the pressure dropping long before I read my mind. She was right about the weather. Second winter she stopped buying summer things. Said no point planting what won't grow. I watched her pack the light dresses carefully, like a woman making peace with what she knows. She never said I told you so. That was the worst part of it all. Just moved through rooms with quiet dignity, the grace of someone braced before the fall. She was right about the weather, right about the length of every cold. She was right about the weather, right about the things that don't get told. She didn't leave in anger, didn't leave in rain, just walked out in the clearing, like a woman done explaining. She was right about the weather. Meteorologists study pressure systems, decades of data, patterns, models, history. She studied me for 3 years, no instruments, no models, just attention. The kind of attention a person gives when they're deciding whether to stay or go. And she read every cold front, every pressure drop, every unseasonal freeze. Read them all correctly. I was the last to know the forecast of my own weather. she left behind. Brass thing hangs beside the kitchen door. Watch the needle every morning now, learning how to read what I ignored. Pressure dropping means a storm is coming. Rising means the cold has had its say. I'm getting better at the early warning, getting better at not letting good things go away. She was right about the weather, right about the man inside the freeze. She was right about the weather, right about what cold does to the leaves. I'm not the same cold front I was. Got a barometer now, got a window and a willingness to read the sky somehow. She was right about the weather. Lord, she called it years ago. She was right about the weather. And I'm grateful, even though she had to go to teach me what she knew. She was right about the weather. Yeah, she was right. She was right. She was right about the weather, about all of it. Yeah, she was right. My father never raised his voice once. Didn't need to. Silence did the work. Sat across the table like a stone. Taught me every lesson without words. I watched him hold a room by saying nothing. Watched the air go still when he walked in. Learned that silence has a kind of muscle. Learned it early, wore it like a skin. I learned silence from the best. Learned to hold it in the chest. Learned to let it do the heavy lifting. Learned to give a man no rest without a single word expressed. I learned silence from the best. Then a woman loved me into speaking. First few years she pulled the words out slow, like drawing water from a stubborn well. She worked for every drop I'd let her know. Said, you got a voice, why don't you use it? Said, the quiet isn't always strong. Said, sometimes silence is just fear in a good coat. Said, baby, you've been wearing it too long. I learned silence from the best, but she taught me what it costs. Every word I swallowed like a secret was a bridge we couldn't cross. She was right about the rest. I learned silence from the best. There's a difference between the silence of a man who has nothing to say and the silence of a man who has everything to say and doesn't. My father was the second kind. I am my father's son.
But here's what Daddy never told me, and maybe never knew. The things you don't say don't disappear. They just move in, unpack, rearrange the furniture, make themselves at home. And one day you realize the silence isn't empty. It's the fullest room in the house. I'm learning now to let a little out, not all at once. A man's got dignity, but word by word, the way you'd open windows in a room that hasn't breathed in years, you see. Some mornings I say something true out loud to nobody, just me and the gray light. Practice for the conversation coming, practice for the man I'll be by night. I learned silence from the best, wore it 40 years without a rest. But the silence that my father left me wasn't armor, it was dead. Every word I never said, still living in my chest. I learned silence from the best. Lord, I learned it from the best. But I'm learning now to speak before there's nothing left. I learned silence from the best. Yeah, the best. I learned silence from the best. But I'm done with the lesson.
Every scar I own came from something real, not a single one from playing it safe. The jawline one from Memphis 36, the chest one from a truth I wouldn't face. The ones you cannot see run deeper still, carved by love and carved by being wrong. But here's the thing about a scar that's healed, it knows exactly where it belongs. Every scar has good taste, knows which lessons left a mark worth keeping. Every scar has good taste, shows the wounds that kept me from just sleeping. Through a life half lived in a room half lit, every scar I own knew exactly what to hit. Every scar has good taste, left a scar along the left side clean, the side where all the good intentions live. Traced it like a road map going nowhere, then became the road itself to give. The bourbon left a different kind of line, not on skin, but somewhere in the bone. The kind of scar that makes you move more careful, the kind that teaches you the way back home. Every scar has good taste. Pick the moments that would make me real. Every scar has good taste. Chose the cuts that taught me how to feel. Not the shallow ones, not the ones from nothing. Every scar I carry came from something worth the bleeding. Every scar has good taste. People see a scarred man and think damaged. I see a scarred man and think educated. Every line a semester, every wound a course I didn't choose but passed. The woman who left clean, advanced placement, and knowing your own worth. The decade lost to certainty, master's degree, and the cost of being closed. The father's silence, doctorate, and what not to pass down. I didn't go to school much, but I am thoroughly educated. Suit, nothing hidden, nothing on display. Just a man who's been through something real, standing in the almost morning gray. The young ones ask me how I got that way, that particular stillness in the eye. I tell them every scar has something in it. Every wound eventually goes dry. Every scar has good taste. Mine chose rivers, not the shallow creeks. Every scar has good taste. Mine chose years, not just a couple weeks. The Memphis one, the chest one, and everyone she left, everyone that burdened, everyone that breath. I almost didn't take, Lord, every scar I carry, every single one was worth making. Every scar has good taste. Every last one has good taste. Every scar, everyone, yeah, every last one. Every last one.
Came up here to get above the noise. 40 floors of concrete, steel and voice.
City laid out flat like a broken dream. Everything looks smaller than it seems. Rain don't care how high up that you go. Finds you on the rooftop, finds you down below. Wind cuts through this jacket, cuts right through. Some things follow you, no matter what you do. Rooftop blues in G minor, highest point in town and still feel low. Rooftop blues in G minor, watching all those city lights below. Could have been 1,000 other places, could have been with her. Instead I'm up here counting all the things that were. Rooftop blues in G minor. Used to think that height meant you were free. Now I know it just means you can see. See the diner where we used to go. See the corner where I watched you go. That yellow awning, third block on the left. Still the same since that November, since your breath was visible between us in the cold. Summer dresses age but don't get old. Rooftop blues in G minor. City got a memory like mine. Rooftop blues in G minor. Every street a sky, every block a sign. From up here the hurt looks almost pretty, neon wet and bright. But pretty pain is still pain, just dressed up for the night. Rooftop blues in G minor. Up here you can see the whole city breathe. Every light of life, every dark window, somebody finally letting go. I used to wanna be the highest light, the one everybody sees from down below. Now I just wanna be the one that stays on long after the rest go dark. Consistent, quiet, warm, the kind of light that don't need nobody looking. Up here since I don't know when. When the rooms get small, I come up here again. Ain't running from nothing, ain't looking for a sign. Just need the kind of space that clears the mind. The city don't know my name, don't know my pain. Keeps on moving through the cold and through the rain. And somehow that's the comfort that I need. Something bigger than my grief, just going on, proceeding. Rooftop blues in G minor. Ain't about being low, it's about being real. Rooftop blues in G minor. Standing at the edge of everything you feel. The rain don't judge, the wind don't ask you nothing. City spreads the load. A man can stand up here and own his story. Let the whole damn thing go. Rooftop blues.
Never lock the door against a ghost. Locks don't mean a thing to what haunts most. They come through walls, they come through window glass. They come through songs you thought you'd gotten past. Found her in the kitchen Tuesday night, standing where she stood in the old light. Didn't say a word, didn't need to speak. Ghost communicating what they leave. Ghosts don't need a key. They already know the way in me. Ghosts don't need a key. Walk right through the walls of who I used to be. Lock the door, pull the blinds, turn off the light. Ghosts don't need a key. They live here every night. Some hauntings aren't the horror movie kind. No chains, no cold spots, nothing unrefined. Just a coffee cup left on a shelf, a laugh track from a life I lost myself. The gentle kind of ghost is worse, I think. The one that sits beside you at the sink. The one that hums a song you both once knew. The one that feels more real than what is true. Ghosts don't need a key. They're already in the furniture and walls. Ghosts don't need a key. They're the reason that I hesitate in halls. I've been repainting, rearranging, moving things around. Ghosts don't need a key. They find me anyhow. I read somewhere that houses hold the energy of everyone who lived inside them. I believe it now, not as superstition, but as physics. Energy doesn't disappear. It relocates. You relocate it into the grain of this wood floor, into the particular way. The light falls through the west window at 4 p.m. in October into the way. This room smells after rain. She's not haunting me. I'm haunting the places she used to be. Stop fighting what comes through the wall. Stop leaving all the lights on down the hall. Set a place sometimes, poured an extra glass. Let the ghost be guests, let the present be the past. A man who makes his peace with what remains. Don't call it haunted, calls it what sustains. Every ghost of proof that something lived. Every haunting just a thing love gives. Ghosts don't need a key, but I've been leaving one beneath the mat. Ghosts don't need
City never closes down its eyes. Million lit up windows, million lives. All that motion, all that urgent need. Meanwhile I'm up here moving at half speed. Poured a glass about an hour back. Been watching headlights trace the ceiling black. Ain't insomnia exactly more like this? A man awake inside the life he missed. The city never sleeps, but I do. Somewhere between the whiskey and the blue. The city never sleeps, but I do. Dream of all the things I meant to do. Million people moving through the dark. Every one of them with somewhere to be. City never sleeps, but it don't dream. That's the difference between the city and me. Come out, push their carts through lobbies, move about. Invisible to everyone who's rushing, seen by no one necessary, saying nothing. I respect a man who works the dark, who does his job and doesn't need a mark. No applause, no witness, no parade, just work done right before the morning trade. Sometimes I think I'm like those men, doing something quiet, doing it again. Nobody watching, nobody to care, just a life maintained with private care. The city never sleeps, but I do. Got dreams of daylight, can't get through. The city never sleeps, but I do. In the dark between the me and you. Somewhere in the sleep, she still comes back, sits across the table in the apartment on the track. City never sleeps, but I chase her every night through the underground of everything we almost got right. We almost got right. Notice how the city looks most beautiful at 3 a.m. in the rain, when all the performance is over, all the hustle gone home, all the pretending clocked out, and it's just the lights and the wet streets and the empty intersections, cycling green to yellow to red for nobody. That's when it's honest. That's when I relate to it. The city and me, both just running our routines for an audience that went home a long time ago. But here's the thing about these sleepless rooms. The quiet has a quality at night that blooms. Something you can't get in daylight hours, a kind of thinking that belongs to ours. I've written more truth at 3 a.m. than all the daylight hours put together then. The dark strips everything you hide behind, leaves just the man, the glass, the open mind. Sometimes that's enough, sometimes that's the work. Sitting with yourself until the daylight
takes the edge off of the hurt. The city never sleeps, but I do. And in the sleeping I find something true. Oh, the city never sleeps, but I do. Dream the dreams the waking can't get through. All those million lights below me, none of them dream like this. None of them wake up changed by what the darkness gave and what it missed. The city never sleeps, but I do. Lord, I do. And I'm grateful for every sleepless hour that delivered me to you, to this, to something real. The city never sleeps, but I do. Yeah, I do. The city never sleeps, but I do. I do. I do.
The city's 20 floors below tonight, and you're the only thing above the lights. I've seen this room in every kind of mood, but nothing ever dressed it up like you. I've had the whiskey and the skyline too, but never felt rich till the night I met you. Penthouse blues for a woman like you, high above the world, but I still got the blues. All this glass and gold don't mean a thing without your touch and the quiet you bring. Penthouse blues for a woman like you. You move through marble like it owes you none, grace that don't even know what it's become. You laugh at something softly by the pain, and suddenly the skyline feels plain. The whole world's down there chasing something real, and here with you I finally feel penthouse blues for a woman like you, high above the world, but I still got the blues. All this glass and gold don't mean a thing without your touch and the quiet you bring. Penthouse blues for a woman like you.
what gives life its shine. I built these walls from steel and stone alone. Only you could make this place feel like home. Penthouse blues for a woman like you, high above the world, but I still got the blues. All this glass and gold don't mean a thing without your touch and the quiet you bring. Penthouse blues for a woman like you. A woman like you. Penthouse blues, a woman like you.
Bottles down to the last 2 fingers now. Been that way since hell I don't know how. Long I've been sitting in this particular dark. Me and Mr. Bourbon making our mark. He don't judge the hour, don't judge the man. Just sits there patient, does what bourbon can. Fills the glass and fills the quiet too, and answers to my name before I do. The bourbon knows my name, knows it better than most people do. The bourbon knows my name, knows the version that I never show to you. Knows the 3 a.m. and the 5 a.m. version, knows the man behind the man. The bourbon knows my name and never once asked what happened to my plan. The bourbon knows my name. First time bourbon knew my name was young, 22 and thought I'd just begun. Daddy's bottle on the kitchen shelf, I introduced the bourbon to myself. 50 years of introduction since, every bottle a new acquaintance. But they all know the name before I pour. Funny how the bourbon keeps the score. The bourbon knows my name, known it longer than my children have. The bourbon knows my name, through the good, the broke, the aftermath, through the women and the winters and the wait, through the mornings I'm not proud of, through the nights that came too late. The bourbon knows my name, consistent as the rain. The bourbon knows my name, and that's not funny, and it's not a shame. It's just true. You know what's funny? Not funny.
funny, like a truth you didn't see coming. I've had relationships that lasted less than me in this bottle. People asked, don't you get lonely drinking alone? I say, I'm not alone. They think I mean the bourbon. I mean every version of myself I've ever been is sitting at this table, 22 and nervous, 35 and certain, 48 and wrong, 16 still here. That's not lonely, that's a full house. But here's the thing about a name the bourbon knows. It knows the name before the armor goes, before the version that you show the street, before the shoes, before the day, before the meets. The bourbon knows the name you wake up with, the one that's not a story, not a myth. Maybe that's enough, maybe that's the thing, to be known completely by something that don't need you to be anything. The bourbon knows my name, every syllable, every complicated part. The bourbon knows my name, knows the inventory of my heart. And one day I won't pour another glass, and the bourbon will forget the way that bourbon does, and someone else will drink it, and it'll learn their name instead. But right now, in this almost morning, in this gray impatient light, the bourbon knows my name, and I know mine, and somehow that feels right. The bourbon knows my name, yeah, it knows. You know my name, always did, more than I did, for a while there.
This is the last glass at the top floor. Don't mean I'm leaving, just don't need no more. There's a kind of finish line you cross alone, somewhere between the bottle and the bone. Been up here so many nights I lost the count, but I remember everyone that mattered, every valley, every 3 a.m. decision, every prayer I sent up without precision. The glass is half of what it was at 10, but I'm twice the man I was back then. Funny math, the kind that only works when you've paid the price and kept the receipts. Last glass at the top floor. Last look at the city in the rain. Last glass at the top floor. Last conversation with my old pain. Not goodbye exactly, more like we're done here for tonight. Last glass at the top floor. Last thing standing between me and the light. Last glass, top floor. Ordered this place furnished, moved in light, just a bag, a box of records and a life.
Didn't want the weight of too much stuff. Learned the hard way that enough is enough. Now the records stack up by the wall. Photographs, I never got to hang it all. A chair that knows the shape of 2 a.m. A glass that's been refilled and emptied then. But the space itself stayed mostly bare. Like I was always ready to go somewhere, or maybe ready for someone to fill it. Either way, I kept the space alive. Oh, last glass at the top floor. Empty rooms make honest men of us. Last glass at the top floor. Everything I kept on trust. The records and the chair and the window and the city down below. Last glass at the top floor of the life I built alone. Last glass, top floor, alone. You know what a top floor really is? It's where you end up after climbing everything you thought would make you whole. Career checked, reputation checked, nice things, high floors, good whiskey checked, and the view is everything they promised it would be. But the only thing missing is someone beside you to say, you seeing this? So I make the call sometimes, not because I'm lonely, just less alone. Call my brother down in Memphis, talk about storms in Daddy's porch. He said the storm ain't something you hide from. You stand in it until it becomes yours. 40 years later, 40 floors high, still hear his voice when thunder rolls in. Last glass at the top floor. Some legacies come bottled, some in storms. And last glass at the top floor. But I ain't drinking to forget no more. Last glass at the top floor. Drinking to remember what it's for. The storms, the losses, every empty room, every woman who was right about me, every night I thought would be my doom. Daddy on the porch in '84 said, stand in it, boy, that's what living's for. Last glass at the top floor. First clear eye I've had in years. Last glass at the top floor. Lord, it took a while to get here, but I'm here, yeah, I'm here. Last glass, top floor. Daddy said stand in it, so I stood.